Welcome back. Yes, the hashtag is Breakfast Daily on all social media platforms. The WhatsApp line is 0550-585832. Now, we're going to get into a conversation that will interest a lot of gentlemen. Not me. You know my stance already, right?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about, but it's the nutrition segment. Just to clarify, the nutrition segment.
Yeah, we like food.
And we're talking about nutrition and breast size.
I told you.
Nutrition and breast size. So
I
I don't know why gentlemen should be interested in this, but...
You don't know why?
No, I don't.
Where have you been all this while?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Well,
but we have just a lady for the conversation. Akusia Konedu Yadum, of course, is a state registered nutritionist. She's no stranger to the show, and she's going to take us through this interesting, conversation which has got Kweku in his feelings.
No,
for some reason.
I'm just expressing what the men who
have they asked you to speak for them?
Oh no, men, we speak for each other. Yeah, we don't wait for a.
This is what I have to deal with.
Yeah.
Good morning, Akusia.
Good morning.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So nutrition and breast size. Let's just start with, is breast size even important?
To start with, I'll say that the purposes for our breasts or our boobs, like they say, is to take care of a new baby, enhance on our outlook, and then for satisfaction as far as you and your partner are concerned. So it is important depending on who you are dealing with to start with. But then when it comes to the baby, for example, I have oranges, or what some people say, keep quiet, they are tangerines. But then when it comes to me feeding another human being, I'll be able to make the desired capacity, because once breast feeding or even pregnancy sets in, there is an enlargement because of estrogen, causes the mammary gland to stretch. And so naturally, when a woman is pregnant, the cup size, chances are that it will increase 1 to 2. As far as the cup size is concerned. Then when a mother is lactating, it will increase 2 to 3 times because of the presence of, obviously, prolactin is at play, and so there is production of breast milk. So if you are dealing with Kweku, and Kweku loves what is in front of him, that is him. As far as my client, who is probably your child, is concerned, I need you to produce what the child will need as far as breaking the daily need of breast milk consumption is concerned. So if you're able to break the protocol with my size or your size, I am okay. But then when it comes to the other parties you need to satisfy, like your partner, then I am going in to pay the bride price, and so why should I pay for something small? That choice is yours. So to start with, I'll say that the sizes can be important based on where you are looking at it from. For me, as a health person, I am looking at the fact that whatever I need you to produce for that child is probably taken care of, size regardless.
Okay. Now, we've mentioned pregnancy and breastfeeding as two things that affect the breast size. But what are some of the other factors that can affect breast size? Because I feel like my breasts haven't finished growing.
Yep.
You think you're done, and then the cup changes. So what are some of the factors? Why are you looking at me like that?
Okay, so
being honest.
So there are some factors you need to know. Now, 4 years after your first period or your menses, your breast doesn't grow any bigger. What happens is that once pregnancy sets in, then nature takes its place, and then there is that stretch into cup 1, 2. And then when you are breastfeeding, it stretches to cup 2 to 3. But then 4 years after your menses, it doesn't grow.
That's your very first
menses. So it grows till 4 years. Then
yes.
after that,
it stops growing. But then childbirth. I have sat here for the past 4 years looking this way, but I will have twins, and then I'll come back 6 years and it will look like, what did she eat? Because as far as my body is concerned, something very, very important and massive has taken place, and that is childbirth. So Apioko may have been probably like me, let me say, there are people who look like me, but then because she has 2 children, she can look like this. And so until pregnancy and lactation comes in, 4 years after your first period, your breast, they wouldn't go bigger. And then age has a factor to play. Now, estrogen is responsible for producing that hormone that enlarges the breast. When you are aging, there is a drop as far as production is concerned. And when there is a drop, your breast will begin to shrink. That is why when women hit menopause, because estrogen drops significantly, they begin to even shrink in size. And so age can have a way of affecting the size of the breast, because you can see a woman who had bigger boobs, but then age is probably dealing with this woman in a sense that not just the boobs are reducing, but even the body, the size is reducing. And so once you are losing fat, because the breast is made up of fatty tissues, it can affect the size. And then BMI. Research supports the fact that women who have a bigger BMI are 3 times bigger as far as their boobs are concerned than somebody like me with a normal BMI of 18.5 to 24.9. So if you find yourself having a normal BMI, chances that you have smaller calves are high. And then if you have a bigger BMI, if you are overweight, obese, or morbidly obese, obviously, even looking at the person from a glance, you can clearly tell that this person has a lot of fat sitting in there. And then we have fitness level. Now, when it comes to fitness, exercising to strengthen the core or your chest area will give it a firmer outlook. How you even sit can project your boobs. So if you have smaller ones like mine, you sit like this, who is going to, they get lost. So how you sit, your posture, and the kind of exercises you do. Like I said, fitness, you can't hit the gym and be losing weight unnecessarily like I did and then try to have that. It has everything to do with what you are doing as far as your chest is concerned, to strengthen the muscles, because the breasts are sitting on the chest. And so once you are strengthening the cores of the chest, it can even affect your shoulder, affects everything as far as everything from your shoulder to your chest area is concerned. And then your weight. Like I said, the breast, it contains fatty tissues. And so if you have a bigger weight, chances that you have a bigger boobs is higher as compared to somebody with a smaller weight. You hardly find somebody who is underweight or not well nourished having this bigger boobs. And then genetics. Now this comes in very 56% of what we see here has to do with genetics. Even myself, I was questioning it because my mom is well endowed. Why do I have this? But then it took my mom and my dad's people look this way. So because of the genes I have, that is why I have this, even though my mom has like times 10 of one of mine. So genetics will come in, and 56%, like I said, has everything to do with genetics. And then diet. There is no research supporting a particular food. But then once it has everything to do with fatty tissues, there are some foods you can infuse just to make sure that if you are underweight, you are improving on your weight. Once your weight is coming up, once there is fat sitting in some of these food, it can influence you having something more perky, or you having something which is right, because it's nice, I will say. And then pregnancy, I spoke about it, breastfeeding, and then your menstrual cycle. Now, when you are in your mid-cycle, estrogen peaks. So you have ladies go like, oh, I think I'm about to menstruate because my boobs are heavy. Now, when you hit mid-cycle, because estrogen is hitting the peak, it has everything to do with the hormone that is responsible for making sure you have bigger boobs. And so once you are in your mid-cycle, it can also influence your breast size.
Okay, so then let's talk about what are some of the important things that we need to know about our breasts? Because it seems like and we're having this conversation largely because we're in Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It's Pink October, right? A lot of the time, we just start thinking about our breasts and their importance when children come along the way, you know, or when there's a debate about
I know,
what some people's preferences are, you know. But no, but really, seriously speaking, we don't really pay attention to the breast as a body part that we need to be taking care of, even when it comes to what we eat, to make sure that it's healthy and performs the function it has to. Because if once you get breast cancer and the cancer spreads, it affects the rest of your body. So we should be concerned about the breast and breast health.
There will be no colostrum for your child.
Precisely. So what are some of the things that we should know about our breasts and pay attention to? One,
it can change 6 times in a lifetime. So even though after your first term period, it stays the same, but then we go through a lot of things as women. Like I said, you can see me in the next 4 years and go like, oh, what did you eat? Because I may have a child, and there is this weight that comes with having a baby. If God decides to give me twins, all hell can break loose. I can look like ×4 of this. If God decides to give me triplets, there's trouble. So your breast can go through 6 times as far as changes is concerned within a lifetime. And so it's something that you can pay attention to. It's something that you can keep at the back of your mind just to help you know that, okay, if at this point there are times you feel like, oh, they look so tiny. It could be where you find yourself, and there are times that, like I said, when you hit mid-cycle, as far as your menstrual cycle is concerned, it can turn, and then you go like, oh, I think I'm putting on weight because my boobs are growing bigger. So one, your breast will change 6 times in a day, in a lifetime. And so we have to keep that in mind. And then I've spoken about the second one, which happens to be that 4 years after your period, it's very important. It doesn't grow again. And then the breast fully matures at breast feeding and then pregnancy. So when you get pregnant, now I am a mother. So you hit where you've not been before, because you were a girl, you became a teenager, an adolescent, a teenager, a lady, and now you are a mother. So you've passed through all the processes as far as being a woman is concerned. And then I'm sorry, no offenses to you if you are not a mother yet, but then the breast will naturally mature because of the process it has to go through, and the fact that there is another human being who needs to depend on you. And so that is it. And then the breast naturally grows. I've spoken about this. And then during pregnancy, cup size 1 to 2 for pregnancy, and then breastfeeding, cup size 2 to 3.
So with pregnancy, if you're a C cup, you can go up to a D cup or an E cup.
Some people like me, I can shock you. That's why I'm saying that depending on how the pregnancy will be, because there are women who come to the facility and you can clearly see. I saw a woman in 24 weeks, and even this Saturday I spoke with the nurse taking care of her. I was like, you have to find somewhere closer for this surrogate mom, because she can barely walk, even at week 28, and she's carrying twins, and the tummy is that huge. So depending on how your pregnancy will be, it can affect everything, especially if you are producing a lot of breast milk. There are women with high prolactin levels, and definitely when it comes to the quantities they are producing, their breast will, the ducts will open up to make weight, to make sure they are producing a lot. And then it has everything to do with your genes. And then I noted one important thing: the left one is slightly bigger than the right one.
Always?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
So you get it.
The left one is always slightly
bigger. It is what it is. So the left one is always slightly. So you can just have somebody examine yours, so that you're married. I will struggle because I won't let somebody look at it. So the left one is slightly bigger than the other one. I don't know why Koku is smiling so much, but then it is what it is.
It is what it is. So now let's talk. I mean, thank you for giving us this snapshot. Now, nutrition and the breast. How does nutrition, we've already spoken about fatty foods, and because the breast is made up of a lot of fatty tissue, fatty foods will definitely influence what your breasts look like in terms of size. But breast size nutrition, what should we be paying attention to? And particularly women who have, let's not pretend that breasts also boost women's confidence. It's a huge part of our femininity. So women who tend to have smaller breasts, are there certain things that they should be paying attention to nutrition-wise, that they keep their breasts looking as best as they can look? And then women who have bigger breasts, because if you have
reduce.
bigger breasts, yes, want to reduce. And even the back pain that comes with carrying load in your front. You know,
So
let's talk about nutrition.
I would say that for starters, we always preach good nutrition. So eating a healthy meal will go a long way to make sure that you are just maintaining a healthy body. Okay. If you are maintaining a healthy body, it means that everything that has to do with your body is also being maintained. And so for the person who is okay with hairs like mine, I'm okay with what I have. Yes, I would encourage that you stick to a healthy diet. A balanced diet we always speak about, but I'll still always go through it. We have the staples, what we call the carbos. Whatever you are eating, sorry, ask yourself, do you have carbohydrates in there? Okay. Or the staples in there? Do you have fruits and vegetables in there? Do you have animal protein and products in there? Do you have legumes, or what we call pulses, nuts and seeds in there? And there is this small attachment where we have the healthy fatty acids and then iodinated salt. They are all under that group. We demonize butter, margarine, cheese, and other things, but they are healthy cheese like cheddar cheese. I know you like cheddar cheese.
I love my
and
cheese.
So the healthier alternatives will go a long way to make sure you are maintaining what you have. But if you have bigger ones and you are not okay with it, one, you need to check your BMI. It could be that you have a bigger weight, and so you need to take care of that weight. And so once that weight is taken care of, together with proper exercise, and it will help you lose that fat. Like I said, it is very soft, made up of a lot of fatty tissues. And so if you're able to burn the fat around the area, it will obviously affect your bra size. And then, like I said, age will have its natural way of making sure it shrinks it. And so even if you are heavily endowed and you are unhappy about it, aside nature taking its way, or aside you making sure you are deliberate about certain foods to add and make sure you do certain exercises to reduce it, if you can wait on nature, it can do something about it. And then if you also want to enhance on it, for instance, if you don't like yours being smaller and you are not patient enough to wait to get pregnant or have a child, or maybe the same way some women may not get pregnant. We have women who will never ever be able to breastfeed in their life. There is 1% of women globally. So every woman, if you take 100, there is one who will never breastfeed. And so if her holy hope was waiting to breastfeed to make sure she fills her cup size, she can add healthy fatty foods to her meals. Papaya is an example. So if I'm planning the meal of such a person, the snack can be papaya, what we call pawpaw. Yes, and then aside pawpaw, some of the seeds are blessed with healthy fats, monounsaturated fats. They are the best. And so it gives you what you want. It does your heart good, because the fat, if you do the wrong ones, will affect your health.
Oh, fantastic. I mean, I'm sure we can go on a lot more about this, but how can people get in touch with you?
Okay, so I'll post this last week. I didn't post. I'll post last week's own, and this one on my social media handles. You can follow me on Instagram at the Nutritionist Akosia, on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Nutritionist Akosia, and you can WhatsApp me on 0243 350206.
Okay.
All right.
Wonderful.
The
Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
segment will come up shortly.